In this video, we're going to have a look at the inverse trigonometric functions, which are something you've already encountered, but we're going to formalise it now. Now, there's not that much actually to this topic, other than learning to draw the functions. So this lesson is going to be a little bit shorter. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to draw y equals the arc sine or the inverse sine of x. And you can see on the screen now that you've got the graph of y equals sine x. But remember, back to functions, remember a function only has an inverse if it's 1 to 1. And clearly this function isn't, because if we do a horizontal line test, we can see it cuts in many places. So that actually is a many to 1 function. So first thing we're going to do is restrict the domain of sine x to make it 1 to 1. So we're only going to consider values of x from here to here. So the only valid part of the sine graph now that we're considering is this bit here. From minus pi over 2 up to pi over 2. And now if we perform a horizontal line test, then we'll see that it only cuts in one place. If this boldly highlighted curve is now the new sine curve, limited to between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2, that only ever cuts in one place, therefore it's a 1 to 1 function, therefore has an inverse. So we're going to have a look now at drawing the inverse sine function now that we've got a 1 to 1 sine function. So here's the axis on which to draw it, and basically what we're going to do, we're going to reflect this graph here through the line y equals x. So let's just get the position of the maximum, which is pi over 2, 1. There's another key point 0, 0, the origin. And here, we've got the point minus pi over 2, minus 1. So let's start with this point here. When it's reflected through the line y equals x, then that point becomes minus 1, minus pi over 2. So minus 1, minus pi over 2 is roughly there, let's say. Maybe not to scale, but that's minus 1, minus pi over 2. 0, 0, if we swap those coordinates round, I reflect through the line y equals x, it remains 0, 0. And pi over 2, 1 becomes 1 pi over 2. And this is the difficult part, to get the shape of the curve right. And there's two possible shapes this curve could take. One's correct, one isn't. It could be like this one here, or it could be like this one here. Now the way I remember this is I look at the shape of the original curve and think that's been reflected through the line y equals x to get the inverse. So the inverse can't possibly have the same shape as the original curve. So it can't possibly have this one here, the one in red, because that is the same shape as the original. If we reflect through the line y equals x, it's going to give a different shape. Therefore, I can get rid of that one. And there we have it. There's y equals arc sine x. So let's try now y equals arc cos x as well. So looking at the graph of y equals cos x, first of all, again, the graph is infinite. So what we typically do for cos x, the accepted convention, is to take the domain to be from 0 to pi for cos x, to make it a 1 to 1 function, therefore ensuring that it has an inverse. So the maximum point is 0, 1 there, then passes through pi over 2, 0, then finishes at pi minus 1. So now drawing the inverse of that, reflecting it through the line y equals x. So there's the axis on which we're going to draw it, and reflecting it through the line y equals x, the point 0, 1 would reflect to 1, 0. So there's 1, 0. The point pi over 2, 0 would reflect to 0 pi over 2. There. And the point pi minus 1 would reflect to minus 1 pi, which is there. And there's two possible shapes that this could take again. It could take this shape here, or it could take this shape here, So I look at the shape of the original curve, realise that it's been reflected through y equals x, so the shape of the inverse can't be the same, therefore that rules out this one here. That is the same shape, has the same curvature as the original, so it can't be that one. And there we have it, the graph of y equals the inverse cos of x. Moving on now to arctan, and there's the graph of y equals tan x, and once again it's infinite, so what we're going to do is restrict the domain so that it's a one-to-one function, and typically what we do for tan x is restrict it to between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2, give one cycle of it. And also remember that it has asymptotes, so the curve passes through the origin there, and it also goes to, and there's a little bit of a mathematical fudge I'm going to do here, it also goes to minus pi over 2 minus infinity. Now infinity isn't a point that it actually passes through, but you'll see why I'm doing this in just a second, and it goes up to pi over 2 positive infinity, and that will help us draw the inverse tan graph. So first of all, drawing in the asymptotes, well, we've got a vertical asymptote at x equals minus pi over 2, so reflecting through the line y equals x, that will now give us a horizontal asymptote at y equals minus pi over 2. Likewise, the vertical asymptote at x equals pi over 2, when reflected, will give a horizontal asymptote at y equals pi over 2. So just marking on the equations of those two lines there, y equals minus pi over 2, and reflecting the curve now through the line y equals x, well, I can see that this went to pi over 2 infinity, so it's actually going to go to infinity pi over 2, indicating that this here is an asymptote, and it's going to pass through 0, 0, and reflecting this through y equals x, swaps the coordinates again, so we end up at negative infinity, negative pi over 2, which is there. So joining the points up, we get that this is the shape of y equals the inverse tan of x. And there we have it, all three inverse trig graphs. So when it comes to being examined on these topics, all they can really do is ask you to draw the graphs or to draw transformations of these graphs, or just to recognise that the inverse sign is the opposite operation of sine. So the worksheet that I've done has a few examples that try to emphasise this, but this topic is probably one of the more straightforward ones. Have a go at the worksheet, check each solution as you go, and then move on to the next section.